All right, and welcome back to the Prometheus Afterthoughts podcast, the podcast where we talk to the most recent boot. And today, that is Colin. Colin, how are you?
I'm good. Sad. How are
Yes.
you?
Um, so I'm sure you have a lot to say. Um, I don't even know if I'll have any questions by the end of this, but I will be here with my vapor rub, and you may say everything you got to say. I'm here to listen.
All right. Well, so I have a lot of notes, so it might be a little scattered. It might not be organized. It's kind of going to be all over the place. So sorry in advance.
It's
It's
fine.
midnight. I've been drinking. So, um, so first and foremost, just about the episode, gotta say, I was not the correct choice at all. Um, and I think some people knew that, but they didn't stop it. And uh, it's a shame, but that's okay. I'm happy with how I played. I did a lot better than I expected, which is good. And also something that I was really happy about that throughout the whole season, I kind of got lumped in with the experienced player group. Despite this being my only second game I've played, and the last one I played was over a year ago. So I was kind of happy to be lumped in with like the experienced, the good players, despite being kind of like a baby at this. So that made me feel good, that I kind of snuck my way into the pro circle without really earning my stripes. So that is something that I'm really happy about. Overall, I enjoyed my edit. I think I gave you a lot of crazy content and not all of it made it, which is totally fine. And I loved watching my confessionals go from very confident to just kind of all over the place as time went on. Like pre-merge, I'm very like, I got it. I know what we're doing. This is the plan. And then, early merge, I'm like, okay. And then by the last two episodes, I'm just like, who knows? So that was kind of funny to watch my descend into madness a little bit. But so I there's a few areas where I know I went wrong here, and I just kind of want to address those. So I definitely lost my footing right after the Joe vote when that Anna and I were left out of that, and I never recovered. And I did the best I think I could to just kind of keep on going. But the problem was with the fast-paced game like that, I think at that point, trying to make connections, it was already too late. I did it with Caitlin, but then it didn't end up working out because she went home. So it seemed like whoever I was like, you're my final two, Joe went home. You're my final two, Anna went home. Okay, Caitlin, she goes home. And so then I was like, I'm not going to make a final two deal. And then guess who goes home? Me. So maybe I should have made a deal or something. But yeah, so I definitely don't think I was a smart choice, just because I was pretty much on the bottom since the Joe vote each time coming in. And I think that, I think everyone kind of got lost and caught up in just kind of trying to make it. And again, it's a mini, we don't have much time. And this is, I'm transitioning into where I think what I should have done, which I don't really like to say, but what was really frustrating to me was watching myself kind of give up in a way. And I addressed it at the end of the episode where I said I was like, emotionally exhausted and very tired because it was a long 2 days. And you can kind of see it as soon as I get out on the immunity challenge, I kind of just was like, I kind of check out, and it was very frustrating to watch because I go make a sandwich and then I sit in a room and I don't move and I just eat the sandwich. Now I was very active on the chat, so it's not like I wasn't trying to talk to people. But in a way I was like, what I've been doing this whole season, which was really effective, was disrupting conversations about me going home. And this episode, I didn't do that. And so I felt like if I jumped around the room, it would have worked. And I even contemplate doing that. And then I talked myself out of it with Andrew. And I was like, I wanted to reach into the screen and strangle myself. And I was like, get into that room and raise hell, God damn it. What are you doing? But alas, I wasn't doing that. And I think a part of it was because this is filmed and because this is televised, I wanted to be perceived a certain way. I wanted to be funny. I wanted to, be the jokester of the season, all while trying to play a good game and win. And I think I got in my own head too much, because when I needed to raise hell, I didn't, in the fear of being perceived, not mean, but like bitchy or something. Like I wanted to be like this funny jokester that was like, I made it to the end. Haha, how did I do this? Like I wanted that. And I think it kind of screwed me over, because everyone thought I was a really good player despite being on the bottom for the past few weeks, because I was loud and just like cracking jokes. And, and somehow that translated to being Colin is an amazing player and he's going to win, which I guess it's a good strategy. So, so I kind of kept up with it. And again, sorry, this is just a stream of consciousness. So I don't.
Fine.
So I keep being like, wait, where's this going? So I do apologize. It's a little all over the place. So yeah, I don't think I was the right choice. I think that, players really trying to make a resume should have gone with a bigger target. It wasn't me. I was the safe choice, which was annoying. And I wish I said that. I wish I said that at Tribal. I wish I said that to people. I wish I said that to Andrew when he told me that he's going to throw my name out to Kyle, but it's Kyle. I knew what was happening. I'm not stupid. I knew I was the target last week. It's going to be me again. And so I should have confronted Andrew and been like, no, it's me. And I know it's me. And if you don't own up to it, blah, blah, blah. And also the whole, again, I wasn't here for this conversation, but people saying like, the jury of the minus David is stacked of the people I've worked with and my friends. And so I should have gone and flipped it and said, if you put me on that jury, I have big pull to all of those people. I can influence how they feel about all of you. You don't want to put me there. And I should have done that. But again, I wanted to be Miss Congeniality. It's hard, balancing good gameplay, being the trade of the season, and being the jokester. It's hard. So yeah, that's the one thing I was frustrated watching myself in this episode, because I know myself very well, and I saw myself kind of start to give up. Because it was such an uphill battle since, round 2. So that was the one thing that I really wish I could have done differently. But again, this is game number 2. I'm still learning a lot. So if I ever play again, I know not to lose steam. And that's, again, another thing with these minis is you kind of you have to keep going. You cannot stop. And that's something I really praise Lauren for, because that energy is just there 24/7. And so, yeah, it was. And also, as there was less players, I had less energy to feed off of. So I think that's also where my energy started to die out. There wasn't as many people to, bounce off of, make jokes with. It's like final 5, crunch time. My energy's down. Everyone can feel it. I think it was, sharks in the water. And as soon as I, cut my wrist, they went for it. And I really wish, we were able to deflect it and push it somewhere else. But again, it is what it is. I'm proud of what I did. I beat my old record of 7. So now I'm final 5. So next time I play, it'll be final 3, hopefully. So yeah, I think that's, I covered most of what I wanted to say, if I can try to read my handwriting in this lighting. But yeah, so that's, in regards to this episode and how I played, that's kind of all of my scattered thoughts in no particular order. If you understood any of that, congratulations.
I mean, I absolutely did. And, I said it during the deep dive, which I know you didn't get a chance to fully listen to, but you listened to a good chunk of it, especially with the majority of what we said about you. But I mean, you did play a really good game. And, the miscongeniality thing, which you do mention during at least a couple of your confessionals, and you're mentioning it now, like that was part of your game. That's part of the reason why you made it. Like you couldn't really tone that down. And I think that is I think that's one of your greatest strengths as a player is that despite you being a perceived threat for so long, people still wanted to work with you round after round after round.
True.
I mean, you literally hear from Lauren in this episode. She still wants to work with you.
Despite me going for her yet again, so that is something I was really shocked about. So I thought I went home because I was like, this is my like upteenth time targeting Lauren. She wants me out. But her reasoning wasn't that. And I was like, oh, cool. Like she got me out, not because I came for her many times, but because she was convinced from Andrew that, if I sit at the end, I can convince everyone to vote for me because, and which could have been true. I mean, we'll never know. Could have been true. Who knows? So, but I felt like I had a pretty good read other than the Joe vote for the most part. I mean, I knew something was going down during that tribal, obviously Lauren's speech. I was like, oh shit. But I didn't think it was gonna be going that way. I thought it was gonna be her final hurrah and she goes. But other than that, I had a pretty good read the entire time. And and publicly, I want to apologize to Anna. I apologized to her many times because I did the thing I said I wasn't gonna do. Oops. But it was, she understood it was all I could do. I mean, my hands were tied behind my back. I had to go with the group because if I didn't, I was gonna stick out and it would have been me next. So yeah. So she knows that now. We I did get a good middle finger when I entered the sticks, which was well deserved, but we worked through it.
Yeah, I think just like you said, you had to do it. It makes sense. Yeah. I've literally done it in a game before. You just at some point you have to go with the majority, So but yeah, I guess we'll see that middle finger in the next episode because there will be more stick segments coming up. But yeah, I mean, like I said, you really did play a great game, and I think it shows. And I think it was very well documented. So that's kind of cool for you that you can see that. You can see where your faults lie. And it's awesome just that you, Andrew, and Lauren all in the same round beat your previous records.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. I mean, and they have much more experience than I do. I mean, they've played many of these. I have not. But I mean, beating that record, it feels so good. And I even say it in the episode where I'm like, I haven't been in this position. I don't know what to do, which goes to my inexperience, I guess. But neither did they. So I did find that funny where I was like, so now what? Haven't made it this far. What do we do?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, great game. And Lauren and Andrew definitely were the most experienced players of them all. But yeah, it is cool though. That is really cool that you did get lumped in with them.
Yeah, and that to me was a compliment. And getting voted out in post merge is always a compliment. Maybe not so much pre-merge, depending on how you go out, but but post merge, you're getting out because they think you can win or they think you're a good player. Or unless you just are a dick or you screw people over. But, by the time final 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, it sucks and it hurts, but it's a compliment. You're going home because you're perceived probably the best player. So I don't think I was perceived the best player, but hearing the reasonings, I understand, why I was the target. I think it should have been, again, Lauren. Sorry, Lauren, I love you. Or Kyle. I do think those two, I mean, I would honestly, anyone, even Caro, I think it should have been anybody else. And I obviously, if Andrew didn't win immunity, I think it would have been a different conversation. If I won, it would have been a totally different conversation. But again, I was those physical challenges. Oops. No.
Yeah. One thing I am curious about, like, you can't really speculate too much, but
Yeah.
I am very curious what would have potentially happened if Andrew didn't win. I get the feeling he probably would not have been a name that would have been thrown out there. But the one thing I am curious about is, aside from the fact that you wanted to save your own ass, how serious were you about that final four with you, Lauren, Andrew, and Caro?
See, I was dead serious because in my mind, I had the same mentality that you guys kind of spoke briefly about in the afterthoughts. And again, I wish I said this out
Deep
loud.
dive.
Deep dive, I'm sorry. This is the afterthoughts. Deep dive. And again, this is something I wish I said out loud, which I didn't, was, sorry, Kyle. To me, Final Four, at the time of the gameplay, I thought we were the best players because we all talked about how we wanted to take Kyle to the end because we thought we could beat him. But when it became down between me and Kyle, I wish I said, let's make this a strong Final Four. So, and again, no one knows what's going to happen next round, but let's make this a strong Final Four. So, because you want to sit at the end with the best, because if you win, it's well deserved. Because if you're sitting against two, people who are just like whatever, it's not. I mean, you win, but like it's because you know what I mean. So like, I kind of wish I said that. Like, let's make this super amazing. Now, watching it back, I do see Kyle has some great gameplay, but again, the perception of the time was that he was just kind of like a snake flopping back and forth, and he doesn't really. For me, I don't. Again, and Andrew said this, like, we didn't really talk until it was time to really make a vote. Like, he wouldn't really talk strategic gameplay, and I understand why, because in pre-merge, I kind of had my thumb on him a little bit with if the vote went wrong or if someone played an idol, he would go home instead. So I understand why he didn't really trust me too much, but he got revenge on me with the Joe vote, so we were even. But I mean, and again, I wish I said that.
So there is a chunk that is cut out. This is the second time this has happened, where there is a bit of a spoiler. Thank God I edit these things after the fact.
Sorry.
But we'll just say on that note, do you have any final thoughts?
I do. I have one final thought, Casey, and it's about how you talk some mad shit on my game in the deep dives. Okay, I'm saving this till the end because you made it seem like when I was talking to Lauren in that the merge episode that I tarnished my game. I gave her every bit of information for nothing. All I did was I stated the obvious that the two top players were, again, the two immune players, so there's nothing she could have done, and I didn't say anything that she probably didn't already know. And also, if it was so detrimental, why didn't it affect my game that round or the next round or the next round or the next round? It didn't mess with my game. If it never happened, my game would have been the same.
Okay, so a couple things. One, so yeah, when I speak at the deep dives, I have to speak in the moment because I can't reveal what happens down the line.
I know.
But I will say though, trust me, that segment when you're in that room with her, you do, and obviously the whole thing can't make it because it's like a 6 or 7 minute conversation you have with her. You tell her everything. You say, hear ye, here is the history of the Primordials tribe. But I mean, I was teasing a little bit too. You tell her a lot. It does work to your advantage, but I am 99.99999% sure she tells you shit. You tell her the history of the Primordials and she doesn't tell you anything.
Well, I didn't think she was going to last very long.
I mean, so, but yeah, I mean, I'm teasing a little bit. I am teasing a little bit, but yeah, I mean, me personally, the way that I play and the way that I generally look at these things is, yeah, you do have to give a little, but you should be getting a little. You gave a lot and got nothing.
Also, when we were all chatting before that night, me, Andrew, and Lauren were in a group chat and we were all getting along. So like I was starting to build relationships with Lauren. But then obviously that second round when I was like, let's get her out was, because like through the text, it was like a good connection. But then when we were playing, I was like, okay, never mind. So I was, and in hindsight, I should have stuck with it, God damn it. But so that's, I think, why I was a little bit more like trusting. But I don't think it was as big of a blunder as you made it seem.
I believe I said you fumbled, but anyway, yeah, I really did like the in between when you guys were talking. I actually thought you guys were going to be like a super tight trio the whole time.
And
so
we should have been, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it did shock me. But yeah, I don't know. It is what it is.
Well, that's all I gotta say. I've been holding that in. I've been holding it in.
You let me know in the group chat a couple times. So I mean, yeah, no, you played
it. Listen, if we had this, if I got out like a few episodes before, I would have had a lot more words. I've calmed down.
Anyway, you played a great game though.
Thank you.
So
thank you.
But I guess on that note, if that is everything.
That is everything. Sorry for the spoiler. I mean, it'll be edited out, but like,
it's all good. Just yeah.
I'll leave the viewers with this. It's a good one. Keep watching.
On that note, thank you, Colin, for coming on, and thank you for everyone who listened to the Afterthoughts podcast. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Casey Needs a Co-host. That'd be greatly appreciated. And on that note, everyone have a good night. Bye.